price to pay. Ain't no need to lag.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I didn't think I was going to make it. Wife works from home on Fridays. She had a training that ended at 11:30, aka right now. So I was able to get everything thrown together though. So we made it pretty quick. Just able to get it shared on Twitter. Turn this up real quick. Let's see. So those of you that are watching possibly for the first time on Twitter, live every single day at 11:30. If you like the show, you like the picks, do me a favor, come on over and subscribe to YouTube at Lunchtime in the Lab. Those of you watching on YouTube, maybe come from Discord, maybe come from Twitter as well. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time I go live. Hit the like button, everything like that to help me out. Talking MLB today, as usual. It's going to be pretty much MLB the rest of the way. NBA is just kind of, let the other people have that, that success or whatever. Vikings had a pretty good, not mad about the draft. Some people, wanted to tweet at me about being excited about having JJ McCarthy, which I know that he's not the best quarterback. I would consider him like a Brock Purdy type, like a game manager kind of thing. Like he was handing the ball off and he would throw when he needed to. But he was the second most accurate passer, last year behind Bo Nix. So I feel pretty good about getting JJ. I feel even better about being able to get JJ, and we were able to get Dallas. So that was really nice. I had a feeling we were going to end up giving up, like both of our draft picks to try to move up to try to get like Drake May or something like that, but or you give up like our first round for the 2025 or something like that. But it worked out, So we'll see what happens today. But they did. I felt they had a pretty good draft. Got ourselves a quarterback, and to those haters or whatever out there, like we'll see what happens. Tom Brady, when he was drafted, people probably were like, "Who the hell is that guy?" Or you never know how people are going to turn out. I have a feeling he's going to be better than Sam Darnold. That's for damn sure. Anyway, let's get into it. If you're watching on Twitter, do me a favor and retweet this for me, please. Watching on YouTube, thanks for being here. If you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube. That's where the magic happens, where I'm live every day. We're doing a UFL podcast either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'll certainly post it at Live Joe Bets. Me and Ty will get together and talk about week 5 now, I think, for the UFL. So we'll get into that. Anyhow, today is Friday, 4/26. Before we get today's plays, as usual, we'll take a look back and see what we did yesterday. Twins run line -1.5 hit for us, 1-6-3. Fading the White Sox is going to be one of the most profitable bets out there. I think the Rays today on the run line is probably not a bad pick for the Rays today, but you're looking at like -140. So if you're okay playing that kind of juice or whatever, go ahead. I'm certainly not going to give that to you. Blue Jays first 5 money line or the early up promo, depending on how you played it. Both of them lost. I ended up going early up promo for the Discord. Unfortunately, the game was called after 5 innings, which makes it an official game. So we lost all over the place there. Super frustrating that I wasn't, able to have that second half chance to come back. Blue Jays, TJ said it, before. Like nobody to hit after Turner. The Blue Jays are just struggling on offense. Some of these teams are just struggling to score. Yankees in particular, -1.5. That they've lost their second game in I don't know how many days to the A's now. They looked horrendous. Bases loaded multiple times, couldn't get anything done. I don't know how many times I've seen them ground out of an inning with bases, runners on. I hate to say it. I'm normally not the type, but like so far MLB has kind of started out kind of weird. The 2024 official ban list, at least for the Discord, we got the Dodgers and the Yankees on there. I'm tired of seeing these teams that have so much talent just not do anything. The Yankees are severely underperforming. The Dodgers are, losing games they shouldn't be. So like I'm good on that. But we'll get into here. I got 3 plays to talk about some real teams. There's some teams that I trust a lot more than these stacked teams. The Braves, of course, pretty good team. I would trust them with all my money all the time. Orioles, another good team that I would trust over those teams. And at times the Diamondbacks. I would trust over the Yankees and the Dodgers. And you look at their payroll and everything like that, much smaller. So it's unfortunate that these guys are so, severely underperforming. Let's actually look real quick about weather, because I did mention that game yesterday, that there may be a little bit of fear, some weather issues. When I was reading something earlier, they had talked about a fear of a rainout for the White Sox game, but I mean, where I look on Swish Analytics, it's not showing any kind of delay or like a percentage of rain. Wind's not too bad either. Looking at ballpark pile, I mean, we don't have like fantastic like hitting conditions or anything like that, but we got some. Especially this first game, you got wind blowing in 13 mile an hour. There's not going to be many runs this game to begin with. Mets blowing, out a lot of stuff, a lot of wind just blowing in. Runs are going to be pretty down, I think. You do have wind blowing out to left field at Ranger Stadium. That's a dome though, isn't it? So that doesn't matter. I think that's a dome. Anyway, nothing really fantastic. Wind blowing out pretty heavily at the Giants Stadium. I feel like the Giants could be a good bet against the Pirates tonight. I got a 4-leg today that I wasn't. Oh, I accidentally closed it just now. I wonder if it's saved. Today's slate's not bad. I mean, like, I really like. Then these aren't picks or anything. David, do I still do builders? Yeah, I kind of transitioned back into it in the MLB. But yeah, that's usually the main source of type of bet or whatever. But looking at some of these spots here, like the Mets at home against the Cardless, Miles Mikolos, dude sucked. Been giving up a ton of runs. Or minus 130 favorites at home. The Rangers money line against the Reds. Graham Ashcraft has been the struggle from last year. They're minus 174. So I mean, in a parlay, that's good. Twins over the Angels. Man, I think the Twins score a lot of runs here today. I think the Twins win that game, and then Giants over the Pirates minus 154 money line. That's like a plus 777. I mean, that means something. Those are all spots that I like that I didn't get into on today though. So we'll get into in today's play. I meant to actually text. Yeah, I talk about it here a lot. I definitely miss NFL, because NFL is like builders. I mean, that's where it's at. Let me see. I was going to text Chief real fast here. Picture. I got a little something I like, but I kind of pay attention to what Chief puts out because he's been killing it on the MLB. Unfortunately, I would have probably played differently than his first play that he's on today. I would have probably used it as the early up promo, so I'm going to try to save that for something later on. Early up promo today, though, I feel, the Mets at minus 130 isn't a terrible look. I do prefer, an away team. I talked about the Twins having a good spot here, but man, the Twins sometimes the Twins just aren't scoring at times. And then there's times the Twins are scoring, all over the place. But Sandoval has been pretty weak. He says I'm good, so that's good. Let me look at this. I forgot Sandoval's ERA. Oh yeah, 6.75. He just gave up 7 runs to the Reds, then 1, 4 against Tampa, 2, 5. So I mean, he gets hit. Twins early up promo might not be good. And Bailey Ober has pitched actually pretty well, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull up. And here I am, like, we're literally just talking right now. But oh yeah, he's only given up 1 run in his last 17 innings. Really, he had just one. His first start was horrendous against KC, and then he's looked great since then. So I would think that the Twins for the early up promo at minus 110 may be a fantastic bet, because I know someone's going to pop here and ask about it. So there you go. That would be that unofficially Twins money line minus 110, and especially it's the away team. Twins have the better pitcher, so they should be able to hold it down and kind of get back up. TJ, more power to you taking the Dodgers. When I see them on there, I go through and I look at every single game, pitchers, how they've been pitching, ERA, stuff like that. Skipped right over that game. I didn't even look at the ERA for Gavin Stone or Bassett or anything like that, because I don't care, because I'm not going to bet the Dodgers. But all right, here we go. Let me pull this up here real quick. Speaking of, so I said it real quick. Saving the NBA for the other guys. The team in the Discord here just killing it. Man, the boss sports laydown, hit a plus. He won like $8,000 yesterday. Of course, he has a higher, so if you were betting $100 instead of $1,000, you would have $800. But he had a couple plus good monies. Who Coach hit a plus 3,000, a plus 1,500. Wiz hit a plus 700, plus 800, something like that. The new guy Jay Bookie's been killing it. So I'm good on NBA. Like these guys are like just killing the NBA right now. So like I kind of like hop off and like I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I'm going like purely MLB. So at the bottom here, if you're interested, check it out. There's a link, all caps, lunchtime for 25% off. Get you in there. Get some of my, you get these plays here, of course, which are solid plays, and I use these sometimes as straights or variations of the play or whatever. What is this? Did I hear the rumor of the White Sox coming to Indy? That would be. I would say that's a heck of a rumor. The White Sox are one of those teams that have been around for so long. I would be ungodly surprised if they moved, because they're one of those like early, shoeless Joe Jackson, teams. But I'm only like an hour and a half from Indy, so that would make going to games much, much easier than having to go to, drive 3.5, 4 hours away. And then, of course, also being in a very bad part of town compared to Indy is, like Indy can be bad, but it's also just Indy, I wouldn't be upset about it. All right, here we go, though. We're going first play. I'll tell you, first play run line, Orioles run line, -120. This was up to almost -140, and I was like, man, I can't do it. I just talked about it with the Rays. So I had transitioned to the first 5 team total for the Orioles. And then for some reason, this line came back down farther than what I saw it at earlier this morning. So like, I'll take it. Orioles -120. You got to fade Ross Stripling. 0-5, 5.34 ERA. He's given up 3, 3, 6, 1, and 5 runs in his last 5 starts. He has lost every single start for the A's. The A's have been winning games. That closer they have, dude's solid. But I mean, like at some point, you can't just throw the ball as hard as you want high and expect teams not to chase it like the Yankees have been. The Athletics have been playing great here a little bit, but in my opinion, the Orioles, solid team. Got a lot of fight to them, whereas I feel like the Yankees are like a roll over and die kind of team. He's been beat up by good offensive teams and like mid to bad teams. The Orioles, I would definitely put in a good offensive team. So I expect the Orioles to be able to really just score as much as they want today. Burns going for the Orioles, 3-0, 2.76 ERA. Not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, guy's been great. Nice little transition to a new team here. Corbin Burns has been doing really good for the Orioles at home here. I'd imagine he gets themselves a pretty good start. The Orioles are a good offensive team, like I said. 5th best batting average, 5th most runs, most home runs in the league, 2nd highest slugging percentage. Stripling has given up just 2 home runs on the year, but I mean, I don't see why the Orioles can't get to him. I don't know how the weather's looking, anything like that. But, this is just one of those, you look at the line, you look at who they're facing, -1.5. I feel really good about them winning by 2. Unfortunately, I didn't get in there. All these days, my wife's training. I'm trying to put the baby to sleep. I'm trying to get my son fed and stuff like that in the mornings. Doing full research is a little difficult when she's home because then, the flow of things are a little different. But regardless of whether or not they've been covering and everything like that, I feel really good about it. Orioles -1.5 will be the first play. I like it a lot. It just came down to -118. So there you go. I don't know why it's dropping. I'm sure it's too early for lineups, right? Let me see. Underdog. Nah. Nope. Just that Maldonado starting for the Marlins. So we don't even have lineups yet. So I certainly would say it is definitely smart in the MLB to make sure once we get in the I don't know, the depths of things, once we get farther into the season, we end up just like we talked about the other day, like in the D-backs. And then like they put this lineup out that was like, what is this? It was garbage. So, we got to be careful with this sometimes, but I feel good about the Orioles. They have a pretty deep team. I'll tell you what, though, the Orioles looked great the other day and they left the rookies at home. I talked about like Holiday. I mean, Holiday hasn't been great. Dude's batting like under 0.1, under, he's point 0.089 or something like that. The other rookie hasn't looked that good. Leave the rookies at home on some of these days. And they came out and they won. Well, they were up, and they lost. They damn near lost it. Ended up winning 6-5 to whoever the heck they were playing. I can't remember. But anyhow, first play is going to be the Orioles -1.5. Second play, I like the Cubs. I've been a fan of the Cubs here this season so far. This game, I think, is going to be a pretty good one. I think you could probably argue either way here, and some of you guys may, think differently. But two great pitchers going. You got Shota Imanaga and Cutter Crawford. Both of these guys have been fantastic. I don't know who's leading the league in ERA, but I'd be willing to bet both of them are up here. There's not many pitchers out there that have been unhittable as these guys, especially Cutter Crawford has been, very good. Imanaga 3-0, 0.84 ERA with just 2 walks given up. He's got a .75 whip. Those are good numbers. Cutter Crawford 1-0, 0.66 ERA. So when you couldn't think the ERA gets a little lower, Cutter Crawford comes in. But he's walked 11 guys. The whip, though, 0.99. So it really is allowing just walks for the most part, in terms of the walks, hits, innings pitched there. Once you get to 1, obviously he's averaging over 1 person on base per inning. So both of these guys doing a pretty good job of stopping that. I will say, though, I just believe in the Cubs offense more than I believe in the Red Sox. The Red Sox aren't to that banishment. They're not banned or anything like that. Shout out my dad. He's a Red Sox fan. He may feel, different about this one. But since the All-Star break of last year, the Red Sox are 1-8 in Crawford's last 9 home starts. They do not support him offensively. There are just people like that do not get run support. You remember like DeGrom, dude was fantastic, but they did not score runs for him. Who else is there? There's another pitcher that's like famously for that just this year too. I can't think of who it is. Crawford's kind of one of those. The Red Sox have a pretty flat offense at times. They're kind of boom or bust. It's like home run or nothing for the most part. He's pitched 5 times this year. He is just 1-0. So he's going out and they're tied. He's going out, maybe it's 0-0, something 1-1, something like that. He's not getting the run support. He's won just 1 game out of 5 starts. They're just not, helping. They're not helping the man out. Seeing as both teams have, there's no. You look at like the Orioles matchup, right? You look at the Orioles and it's easily just like, all right, I like the Orioles. Stripling's terrible. Huge advantage. Pitching advantage is what we're going to talk about. And then you got offensive advantage, of course. Here, both fantastic pitchers, right? Logan Webb might be one. That might be him. I don't know. Anyway, seeing as both teams, both have good pitchers, we look at the offense. I just trust the offense a lot more for the Cubs than I do, for the Red Sox. So like I said, outside of the Red Sox hitting more home runs than the Cubs lead every other offensive category. The Cubs are better in every offensive category outside of home runs hit. Most importantly, the Cubs are better with runners in scoring position than the Red Sox. The Cubs do a better job of playing baseball, whether it's small ball, moving guys to second base, getting a guy to second base, single, scores them, whatever. Red Sox do a bad job of moving that runner to second or moving that runner from second to third. And then the Cubs do a good job of, those sac flies. You got a guy on third with just 1 out. Nearly, I'm not going to say every time, but they do a great job of hitting the ball into the outfield and allowing that guy to score, or, beating a double play out or something like that as they try to get out of the inning and that guy scores. They do a good job of hitting or making things happen, runners in scoring position, where the Red Sox unfortunately do not do that. And I don't feel like, I think this is a pick 'em. Where's it at? Well, the Cubs are actually slight favorites now. You got Cubs -110, Red Sox -106. So you would give the Red Sox a slight favoritism because they're at home, but like it's just not enough in my opinion. Especially like at that field or whatever. So Hey, this one's 50-50. This one's a coin toss, but I tip the hat to the Cubs because of their offense. You know, defense obviously can make it. There's only so much that they can do. Both bullpens, I think, are pretty similar as well. So Cubs money line is the way to go for the second play of the day of the podcast, of the free podcast here today. Um, sorry, I got like Twitter beef going on in my mentions for some reason. And before we get into third play, as usual, please do me a favor. Please do me a favor. I'm doing it right now. If you're watching on mobile, pull it down. Hit the like button for me, please. Pull it back up. You'll be able to see it. If you're on the desktop, just go on over there and just hit that like button. I've got just 5. I see like 20 people on the YouTube side liking it. I just liked it myself. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me too. We are slowly climbing 742 subscribers. I'm just 8 away from hitting, 750. I feel like if I try to post something on Twitter, be like, hey, somebody give me 8 more. I feel like people normally come in through me, so I'm gonna have to try to do that after this. If you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube, man. Come over and hit this button for me so you can see tomorrow's show so you don't miss it out because it will not be on Twitter tomorrow. The third play today, I think this line's fishy. Maybe I'm. Oh, I thought it moved. I was looking at the wrong game. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Uh, Phillies and Padres over 7.5 feels like an incredibly low number for these two teams. So we're taking over 7.5 for the third play for the Phillies versus the Padres. We have two pretty big name pitchers going, so maybe that's why. Two guys that have tremendous upside, obviously. Maybe that's why this total is low. I mean, I think it should be at 8.5. I would, if it was at 9.5, I wouldn't be surprised, to be completely honest. Aaron Nola's good. Don't get me wrong, 3-1, 3.16 ERA. I do admit, like he's looked pretty good recently. But the Padres bats are strong. Regardless of who's pitching, the Padres bats are strong. You look at Musgrove on the other side, 3-2, 5.74 ERA. Guy's been looking rough. Is he due for positive regression? Sure. Like he certainly could be. He's given up 3, 3, 4, 1, 4, and 5 runs so far in all of his starts. He's given up 12 runs at home compared to just 8 away. At night, he's got a 7.85 ERA compared to a 2.77 day ERA. Of course, if we want to compare night to day ERAs for Aaron Nola, he's rocking a 0.69. So we want to maybe not talk about the Aaron Nola side of things. But Nola has only pitched twice at home, whereas Joe's been home a lot more often than that. Great part about this total is that being this low, one team could nearly cover it itself. Do I expect one team to drop 8? Probably not. But like a 4-4 tie going late has us with the cash. So like a 3-3 tie even going to OT, has us pretty damn close to hoping somebody gets 2. The Phillies have looked great recently, scoring 4+ in 4 of their last 5 games. The Padres have scored 3+ in 5 straight. If you, whatever kind of weird gambling math, you put that together, that's 7 runs on, based off like their averages. I don't know. That doesn't count, but that's something to talk about. Once Aaron Nola is knocked out, if he pitches the full game, maybe we're in trouble. I keep hitting my hat on my mic. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. I don't know. I just realized I didn't even hit the record button for audio. That's how like tired I am of like doing the Spotify part of it, that like I didn't even hit the freaking button. So let me just close that. Once Nola is taken out, the Phillies have the second highest bullpen ERA. So obviously, that's good for runs. We have 2 teams in the top 10 for batting averages. The Padres score the 3rd most runs. Both teams are tied for 6th most home runs in the league. I mean, I feel like you can go on and on for the reason that there could be runs. Unless Musgrove turns around and finds a way to shut out the Phillies offense, who has been fantastic. Trey Turner has been fantastic. Trey Turner is playing out of his mind. Schwarber, Turner, like the Phillies offense is almost as complete, I dare say, as like the Braves. From top to bottom, the Phillies have a pretty good offense. The Padres have a ton of power in the offense. I love the over here. Over 7.5, man. I would have played it at 8.5. I would have probably stayed away at 9.5, but I would have still, I probably still wouldn't have questioned that it felt like an over game, in my opinion. Maybe I have like an incredible, like wrong read here, but like the over, like it a lot, guys. So that's what I got. Home run wise today. I mean, if you guys have any, if there's anybody live, Twitter or YouTube, if there's anybody live that likes a home run player guy today, drop them. I mean, shoot. I mean, the first three we could run with it. I don't have anything that overly hops out, but looking at Ballpark Pal, there's not as much red as there was. They got a minus 44% chance in that Boston and Chicago game. Maybe wouldn't mess with it. Baltimore, Oakland minus 35%, KC, Detroit minus 37, Mets minus 28. I feel like what's up, Quandale, Mountcastle, TJ. As I just said, there might not be that many home runs, but I mean, I'll take it. I think, and Stripling's giving up just 2, but for some reason, Jeffers is sticking out for me. I think he had a solo shot yesterday. Shoot, we can do it real fast. Let's do it. Let's recap real quick for the podcast, then we can talk some home runs real quick. First play for the podcast is going to be Orioles minus 1.5. Second play, Cubs money line. I didn't even hit the button for my third one. Second play, Cubs money line. Third play, we're going Phillies Padres over 7.5. I feel like the number is still too small. TJ says Mountcastle. I'm cool with it. Like I said, I don't have a lot. I didn't have many leans with it. I do like to have home run. Plus 800, TJ? Are you sure? I'll add it. We might have to pick somebody else. I like to have a home run lotto, guys. You miss 100% of the shots you can't take, although unfortunately, just the balls aren't flying right now. Logan Allen gives up a lot of home runs, so we need a Brave. We need a Braves. Dang it. Didn't I just say the weather was bad there too? Can we just not pretend about weather? Maybe we just pretend weather doesn't exist today. Let's pretend weather doesn't exist today. Pretend that Stripling's in a Blue Jays. All right, man, we'll do it. It's a lotto after all. Ryan Mountcastle plus 800. I want a Braves player because Logan Allen has given up a lot of home runs. We got to take a Braves player. If anybody has a Braves player that they really like, let's do that. Nola's given up 6 home runs. Mikolas has given up 5. So, let's see. A Philly, a Padre, a Philly, a Padre, or man, you know how due Matt Olson is for a home run? Can't do it though. Right? We can't do that, right? I don't think any Braves have faced Logan Allen. Where's he at? Where you at? Yeah, they haven't faced him before. Austin Riley hasn't hit a home run in the longest time. Yeah, somebody from the Braves is going to hit a home run. You know what kind of sucks? I like to take Arnold, but I don't ever know who's catching. Because that dude's been hitting hella home runs. But what if he doesn't? What if he's not catching today? I don't know if he only catches for certain people or not. Shit. Let's go Arnold. And then Ryan Mountcastle. Oh, and then I like Jeffers. I mean, Jeffers was the one pick that I had. If I'm even saying his name right, it could be Heifers. El Jefe. Plus 430. That's a plus 28,000. I feel like that Mountcastle pick is a little crazy, TJ. But when it cashes out, though, you're gonna be looking like a superstar. Let's try that. Let's try that. We'll make it kind of quick too. Luckily, let's see, with the MLB, there's like I said, I was gonna bet the first game, but unfortunately, I didn't want to cross somebody else, and like he's been hot, so like why not? I was leaning Royals on it. But then we don't have any baseball till 7. College baseball doesn't start till 3. So I got some time to research here. Also got to put some information together. If you guys are interested in some football, we're doing the Boys of Spring podcast either tonight around 8, 9 o'clock live or tomorrow morning again. So we'll have some of that football action there. If you guys want to tune in, and we'll talk about some football. But be sure to follow me on social, at Live Joe Bats. I'll tweet about it if we're going to do the show tonight or not. If not, we'll do it tomorrow at 30. That way it's done by 11. Then that way I can turn around and then do my show, as normal as 11:30. So I have to I go on YouTube, just rewatch the highlights. So I got an hour. Each one's 15 minutes. So I got an hour worth of watching football, ahead of me today too still. So my son just got to Google home or whatever to play. Yeah, my wife's like yelling, "Hey, Google at it to turn it off." Kids are funny. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Let's try to see if we can hit this home run. I don't know if I repeated it, but it's gonna be Ryan Mountcastle, Travis. I think it's Arnold. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong for the Braves, and then Ryan Jeffers for the Twins, plus 27,980. Pretty wild, but yeah, and they're home, TJ, so that kind of makes sense. That's the 3 we're gonna roll with, and then the plays for the day on the podcast: Orioles minus 1.5, Cubs money line, Phillies versus Padres over 7.5 is the 3 plays plus that home run lotto. Let's see what we can do. Try to get some of these. Let's try to get some dubs. Try to get on the right way. Baseball, like I said, is a roller coaster. It's a lot of up and down. I went 4-0 in the Discord 2 days ago. I went 0-2 yesterday. Unfortunately, it's just the way that it goes. Unfortunately, darno. Oh, darno. Huh? Okay, that makes sense. But all right, guys, yeah. If you're in the Discord, I'll catch you in there. I got some research to do still, and we'll get on some cash in here, and hopefully with some bets, and I'll see you guys back. Maybe I'll see some of you guys tonight if we do that show. If you tune into the football one, if not tomorrow, and if not, at 11:30 for the Lunchtime in the Lab again. But peace. Stay safe out there.